Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Jess. So Bitcoin has finally started to gather just a little bit of strength on the short time frame charts, validating a really crucial macro bullish structure. But overall, we're still very much in the gray area. So let's dive into the video today to talk about what sort of price action we've been seeing over the last couple of days since that massive crash last week, and what we really need to see to confirm a bullish continuation upwards and show us that the buyers are stepping back in control or otherwise. We'll also take a quick look at total altcoin market cap to again see what kind of signals that will tell us that we're seeing a mass shift in market sentiment and a mass reaccumulation of altcoins. Before we do though, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel down below for regular updates every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday, and ring that notification button so you never miss an episode. If you're after even more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram channel for daily updates as well as crypto and economic news. And if you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trade setups with exact entry points, targets and stop losses. Okay guys, so jumping right into the 4-hour time frame, you guys can see exactly why I'm saying, the price has recovered just a little bit over the last 4 days. We broke out of this pattern of forming these lower lows here on the chart within this descending channel. So we've broken out of the descending channel, and after my last video, we formed this higher low here at $54.2 thousand. So the price has gone back up just a little bit over the last day or so, and we're now retesting this really key level of resistance here at $58.3 thousand. So I'll talk more about the short time frame price action here in just a moment, but what's really important about this little segment of price action over here is that the price recovered enough so that the daily candle close on Monday was back above this trend line, this lower trend line on our descending channel over here. So on Monday, that daily candle validated the formation of our bull flag pattern over here, which was one of the very few remaining potential bullish macro structures that Bitcoin had left after all the really terrible price action that we had last week and, realistically the last 4 weeks overall. So we can see the market starting to recover just a little bit. 24-hour volume has increased just slightly from that last week period, where it was really, really low. It has crept back up just a tiny bit. We can see fear and greed index is up a little bit as well. And if we take a look at the liquidity maps as well, we can see that overall the volume increase that we're seeing is mostly bullish because we have a liquidity map that's skewed over to the bottom side of the map. In slightly other news, we did have some word come out from JP Morgan about 22 hours ago, so very, very recently, about how they think that the top is in for Bitcoin. And essentially, if you guys don't know what that means, it means that Bitcoin is pretty much just getting started, because JP Morgan has traditionally just been so comically wrong about Bitcoin that it has to be on purpose. I just cannot believe that every single time they serve as a top signal and a bottom signal. Every single time they say something about Bitcoin, the exact opposite happens for the next period of time. So the fact that they're saying that Bitcoin is really, really bearish is honestly a really bullish sign. I'll pop in a little chart that one of my friends Mega Well made. It is absolutely hilarious, and it basically shows you just a couple of examples of when JP Morgan has spoken out about Bitcoin publicly and how they have just been so absolutely wrong. So that is the context of the recent price action that we've had for the last couple of days. Now let's go ahead and dive into the analysis here. Starting with the macro charts, we'll talk about this new macro structure that we've just validated, what this potentially means for the future price action for Bitcoin, and we'll dive into the short time frame charts after to talk about the bullish and bearish validations there, and then total 3. Before we jump into that analysis though, guys, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, Bitunix. Bitunix is an emerging cryptocurrency exchange committed to providing you with a secure, convenient, and highly functional trading and investment platform. Available across all countries as a non-KYC exchange, get global access to over 150 trading pairs with minimal fees on both spot and futures contracts. Join today to get $5,500 US in sign-up rewards and get 15% off all of your trading fees by signing up using the link in my bio or by using the code 1GG3 when you create your account. So naturally, guys, that candle close on Monday was really, really great to see, because now we have some sort of macro structural pattern to guide our future price trajectory, right? After that loss of that major bullish uptrend, that bull market uptrend that we had for 9 months after this massive crash here, the fact that we have seen the buyers step in or the bulls step in at this crucial stage in the market is a really good sign. So obviously, that loss of the uptrend is still a massive point of fear and doubt, but at least now we have some sort of certainty, or a little bit more certainty. And while I did say in the start of the video that we are still somewhat in a gray area, that is for the most part on the short time frame, because as of right now, this is a mostly bullish structure, and it does have a much higher potential for a breakout upwards rather than any sort of breakdown. So as of right now, looking at this macro chart on this daily chart, we have a much higher likelihood of getting a bullish continuation here to the upper range of this channel at the very least, in comparison to a breakdown below our support at $53.3 thousand, the sell side liquidity level, or that red line, and moving to that next bearish target on the macro scale at $50,000 to $52,000. So now that we have this sort of structure, let's go ahead and talk about what it means. And it's not that complicated. I'm pretty sure you guys know what a bull flag is. But essentially, it represents some negative or some, downwards consolidation in anticipation of a bullish breakout or accumulation in consolidation. So the measured move of a bull flag, there are two of them. The first one is the more conservative, and what I do think is probably more realistic in terms of the macro price trajectory of Bitcoin, and that is the width or the height, of the flag itself. So that's about 25% here. And if we apply that to the breakout point, maybe somewhere around $69,000, that lower end over here gives it a good couple of days, good couple of weeks to actually reach this upper price target. That brings us to a bullish target, breakout target of around $84.5 or $85,000. That more exaggerated or, optimistic target is the entire length of the flagpole, including the height of the actual flag itself. So we'll take it to that very first peak over there on the chart, and that brings us to a 90% increase over here, and we apply that to the breakout point the same way we did before. That brings us over $100,000, around $104,500 in terms of a very, very optimistic bullish target. I don't really necessarily think it's going to go all that way, purely because there are a lot of other indicators and ways to predict the Bitcoin top that are a lot more conservative than that. For example, the 5.3 rule, that only takes us to around $77,000 in terms of the 5.3 rule average, and the more optimistic version of the 5.3 rule taking us to around $81,000. So I think the more realistic scenario here, if we do get that breakout of this macro structure, the way that it's supposed to happen, or the way that, and technical analysis tells us it's supposed to happen, should take us around this $77,000 to $85,000 region as a final bullish target there. But as of right now, like I said, we are still very much in that gray area. So there's a lot that needs to happen on the short time frame. There's a lot of price coverage that needs to happen within this range before we get to that breakout. So let's go ahead and dive into the short time frame analysis on where Bitcoin is right now, because it is actually testing a really key level of resistance. So going over onto the 4-hour time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is currently retesting this really key level of resistance here at $58,300. That red line that I've drawn in, and the prior sell-side liquidity level for this 60 to 61K level of support, right? It was falling below and closing below this level that led to a bearish continuation all the way down to 53.3 thousand. So in clearing this level, what Bitcoin should do is fill this massive gap that we have in the volume profile and take us right up to that next key level of resistance now on these short time frame charts. If we zoom in on the 1-hour time frame, we can see that exact bullish trigger that we're looking for in terms of the hourly candle close, and that is around 58,445. Sorry, let me just pull it up here. So we go to liquidity swings indicator, this little level of buy side liquidity here. So for 58,450. An hourly candle close above that level should confirm a bullish continuation to that next range here at 60 to 61K. That is the really key level that we're looking for. And, it's actually looking quite good. Bitcoin moved really, really quickly while I was filming. But we still have 25 minutes before that hourly candle close. So we'll see. Bitcoin does tend to chop up and down a lot, as you guys know. But yeah, so far it's looking actually quite good on the short time frame. So moving above 60,000 to 61,000 is our next really, really important bullish trigger. It is the same bullish trigger that we are looking to clear in order to finally target this upper range of resistance here between $69,000 and $72,000. And that is this red line over here at 63K. So moving over onto the, let's go 12-hour time frame. We can see the reaction that the price has every single time we test that level. So that is that green box that we've gotten drawn in over here. And as you can see on the volume profile, yet again, we have that massive gap here between 63K and this next huge level of resistance at $69,000. But generally, guys, as you can see, every single time we clear that $63,000 level, we have a really extensive bullish rally to that upper region of resistance. If we take a look back here as well, clearance above 63 leads to a move to 71. Clearance above 63 leads to 73. So in general, that is that really high time frame bullish trigger that we have and we've seen play out time and time again in the last couple of months. And in moving above $61,000, that is the next key level of resistance that we're looking to clear above. Now, while we are looking pretty good for that hourly candle close above 58.3, we won't know for certain until it happens. There is still a potential that it is just a buy side liquidity grab, but if it is and we don't manage to get that candle close above 58.3, the way we can kind of conceptualize the current price action is that this little range here between 53.3 thousand, this lower level over here, that current key level of support right now on the short time frame charts, and 58.3 is a somewhat neutral range. While we remain within here, I don't really mind if the price travels sideways for quite some time, because we have just experienced quite a shock, a 20% drop over the last 4-week period. It is normal that it takes some time to, reaccumulate, see the buyers step back into control. But, while we're above 53.3, we're somewhat neutral. The stance is still all right. There's nothing necessarily to be worried about. It is just obviously going to be boring. It isn't until we lose this 53.3 level here that there is some reason to be genuinely concerned for a bearish continuation. So in that move, we should quite likely move down to this next key level support to 52 and $52,000 to $50,000, this range at the bottom, this next green line. And then above here, so this is bearish, and then above this level, this next red line, we have our bullish case scenario. So a move to 60,000, above 60, our key bullish trigger at 63K. Now, Bitcoin isn't the only one that is recovering a little bit, so let's go ahead and take a look at Total 3 and altcoin market cap. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at Total 3 on a 3-day time frame, and we can see that, we can see it on any time frame, but altcoins have gone up to retest our bullish and bearish trigger point over here between $565 and $575 billion, right? We know we spoke about it in many videos before, but this level here generally means dropping below this level, we do tend to enter somewhat a bear market. So we do tend to continue lower, yada, 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 right? We know that from this recent drop here, from this test all the way down here at 500 billion, that a lot of altcoins reached their all-time lows, and a lot of others, slightly older, higher cap coins reached really, really old levels, right? For example, ADA, I think, retraced back to 2021 levels within that bear market. So it was really crazy to see all that price action. Altcoins really, really did get wrecked in the last couple of weeks. But instead of, really entering that macro bearish trajectory, what we've seen from Total 3 is the formation of, again, a macro bullish structure. We have the same bull flag pattern that we can see on Bitcoin. It's a little bit steeper. Understandably, altcoins are a lot more reactive and volatile and tend to have much larger moves, but we can see the same bull flag pattern that should be leading to a macro bullish breakout. But also, again, we're seeing that retest of this really critical level over here. So we're about 19 hours away from the 3-day candle close. And so closing above this level would be a really, really great thing to see, guys. It suggests that maybe actually altcoins are recovering after that recent shakeout, and we might be heading to the top of this channel over here, this next key level of resistance on the Total 3 chart. So one thing that's going to preempt this breakout is a look at the RSI. So if we go and pull up the RSI on the 3-day time frame as well, we can see this downtrend, right? This long-term loss in momentum and buying pressure that we've experienced from altcoins, and it looks like we are very, very close to going in for another retest of that trend line. So this is that first thing to be looking out for in terms of timing the break or preempting the break of this downtrend. We know RSI momentum is a leading indicator. So a break of this downtrend should lead to a bullish continuation here, because we're seeing a macro shift in momentum and in the buying behavior for altcoins. Should lead to a break of this descending channel, and in that break, if we apply the same measured move kind of idea, take the height of the flag that takes us to around $800 billion. So that means all-time highs for altcoins here. We're well above this prior high here that we experienced before, you know, the rapid crash downwards or the rapid decumulation, I guess, or sell-offs, and it takes it to about $808 billion. So that is one thing to be looking out for, guys. Altcoins are actually recovering really, really well. I'm actually genuinely surprised. I was not really sure what I was expecting from altcoins, to be honest, after all the recent price action, but this is really, really good to see. Alrighty guys, that is all the analysis that I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel down below. And if you're after even more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram channel for daily updates as well as crypto and economic news. If you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trade setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. And if you are a trader, don't forget to sign up down below to Bitunix to get 15% off all of your trading fees and $5,500 in sign-up rewards. Hope you guys have a really great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.